This past week, the Dodgers defeated the Yankees in the World Series, erasing any sort of stain of a quote-unquote Mickey Mouse ring. Turns out, the best way to get rid of the Mickey Mouse ring is to play the baseball equivalent of Disney's Frozen Head. Welcome to the Moonstamp Cast. I am Jordan. This is the Does Beauty and the Beast promote what I think it does? To my questionable drawings in The Little Mermaid, Brian. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing a lot better with that joke. Well done.
Thank you. I mean, I was searching around for something in there, and I was like, if you think about it, the Beauty and the Beast does say some weird things about love, and who you can love, which dogs. So, but yeah, welcome to the Moonstamp Cast. Thank you all for listening. Let's just jump right into it and do what we were talking about. The Yankees, lol. The Yankees lose.
L's in the chat.
Not even L to the chat. It was a bad series for them. They looked bad the entire time. Like I make the joke, it's like the Frozen Head of Walt Disney playing baseball, but it was like, there was no one in that series on the Yankee side, at least, where I was like, hey, they're doing a great job. They're killing it.
Juan Soto, but besides that,
yeah.
But Juan Soto didn't have the series that he was having throughout the playoffs, nor last time he was in the World Series.
Juan Soto doesn't even want to be there anymore. After the end of the game, he was like, "Yeah, I might go somewhere else." He's like, "Yeah, 30
it was fun. Teams are open."
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, based. He just cares about the paycheck." He's like, "I've got a ring already."
Which I actually came up with a question while listening to that speech, which is he the best young player to be on the most teams that I can think of?
Yeah.
And I can't think because he's been Nationals, Padres, Yankees. He's going to hit someone else soon. He's going to be 26?
He's turning 26.
Turning 26? Yeah, something like that. Again,
fucking crazy.
I remember when he was 21 or 22 or whatever Joe Buck used to say the entire time. So I think that's kind of cool because he's just like, fuck it. Yeah, I want money, which I cannot be opposed to. I understand. If I could hit a ball that well, I also wanted $700 million for 12 years of my work. So, but yeah, no. And then I saw Garrett Cole opted out as well, which I think the Yankees can opt him. In. Yeah. Yeah. I saw that he could opt back in, but I was hoping for the best there. I didn't want him to come back to us, obviously, for, hateful reasons. But I just, I'm just happy the Yankees look, but the Dodgers look good too.
Dude, that fifth inning alone for the Yankees, that was the funniest shit I've ever seen. A ball hits Joe. That ball is caught 999,999 times. Mm. And that was just the one. Yeah. What literally 1 in a million.
Yeah. That was Judge catches that every time as well. Like it's a 1 in a million catch for Judge. And it was just that the worst, like if he catches that game 85, against the Blue Jays and he misses it and they lose the game, they lost the game. It's not a big deal. If you do that in the World Series, he just did the worst possible time on every possible account. And like the worst possible inning. I don't know. It was kind of beautiful to see, though. I love seeing it.
Then there was the throw to third base, and there was Garrett Cole and Anthony Rizzo doing the Spider-Man meme, pointing at with the first base being the third person. Just phenomenal. Wow, what a fucking collapse. I thought I would hate the Dodgers winning a World Series a lot more than I do. But with people like Shohei, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman, it's kind of hard to hate them. Yeah. And Freddie Freeman, my goodness, dude, what a playoff, what a World Series. Dude was phenomenal, man. Dodgers look great. They got to be the early favorites to win it again once they figure out the pitching staff because they're going to have Ohtani pitching next year on top of everything else. And Kershaw, that doesn't really help your playoff chances. It helps you get to the playoffs. It doesn't help
actually hurt your playoff chances. Mm-hmm. I saw Ohtani had surgery, I think, either today or this week. But he's going to be back by spring training because he clearly hurt his shoulder in that one game and kept trying his hardest. He was 2 for 19 with 0 RBI in 5 games. That's not Ohtani. Like, it's not Ohtani. But again, he literally could not run without holding his arm. So I'm not going to be like, wow, I can't believe you didn't do better.
And he was surrounded by a team that picked him up. Like, sure, Aaron Judge struggled, but no one else besides Stanton on the way to the World Series had a great playoff. He really did. Mm-hmm. Soto had a great playoff on the way to the World Series, carrying Aaron Judge, and then they just got tired of carrying his big ass, and they just couldn't do it. It was It was great. I loved them winning one game. I really wish. I'm kind of glad it was a sweep because it kind of gave. I'm glad it played out that way. I'm glad it wasn't a sweep because then, not as many jokes were made. But the fact that they won a game, had a little bit more hope, and then they were up 5-0, and they were just like, oh, dude, we're turning this whole thing around. Holy shit. I was like, oh. Like, part of me was like, oh, fuck. But the other part was just like, it's 3-0. Like, they're not going to win 4 in a row, right? And then the collapse happened, and I thought it was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was great. It was Schadenfreude. I took great pleasure in the pain of the Yankees because they had that bit of hope, and then it was just. I mean, to say that the Rizzo Cole thing is not going to be shown in every single college, high school, whatever. Name every single level of baseball in the country. It's going to be shown all the time to every pitcher and first baseman. Every pitcher will be like, you have to go cover, because it was like just the basics of the basics. All you had to do was run over there, and then the inning's over, and they're good. So I did like seeing the Dodgers win. I liked Mookie Betts winning. I liked Ohtani winning. I like Freddie Freeman winning. He's been had quite the year, and just personally with his son getting hurt before the playoffs. So I wish him the best, and I'm happy for him. And yeah, like you said, probably favorites for next year coming into this already.
Flipping over to the Astros, though, we have offered Alex Bregman a qualifying offer. So that way, when he rejects that qualifying offer and he goes to another team, we'll get a 4th-round pick. But Dana Brown said that we have a pretty good chance, and he feels pretty good about re-signing Bregman and Tucker and Framber. I want 1. Mm-hmm. I'm satisfied with 1. If you can get 2, I'm top of the mountain. But we get 3, that's pretty great, but we're going to be locked up for a while. I'm okay with letting Framber go if we can just openly admit that. I have not been impressed with him really all this year. He disappeared during the end of the season. He didn't do well in the playoffs. Yeah, the Framber experience has just been ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs, and it's been down for a while. So, I don't know. I'm okay with letting him walk.
I mean, the franchise is its own story in itself. It is the roller coaster of the moment he gets a little bit frazzled. He's like that Sean Hannity, Stephen A. meme. You either get the guy who it looks like this because he hit one home run, got a hit off him, or he looks like Stephen A., where he's like cool, calm, and collected because he keeps throwing strikeouts. So we'll see what happens. I think we talked about earlier in the year, I think 10, 12, 13 weeks ago about whether we keep Tucker or Bregman. I still think Bregman's probably the better choice in the long run, but I wouldn't be upset if we kept Tucker. We'll see what happens. Well, it's a lot of just wait and see right now.
Better player overall, better career is probably going to be Kyle Tucker. Mm-hmm. For his price tag and for what he contributes to the team outside of on the field, it's Bregman. Mm-hmm. But lock up both if we can. That'd be great. If not, at least lock up 1, man. If we let all 3 go, it's going to be seen as a failure, and we're going to be kind of in a rebuild for a couple of years trying to figure it out. Those are 2 key pieces that are not easily replaced. And speaking of people that we let walk that need to be replaced, Urquidy, after not pitching for almost 2 years, or almost a year and a half, we let him go, just straight up DFA'd. So he's gone, and I don't know, man. This pitching staff is very frustrating because we're gonna have Framber next year, sure. Hunter Brown, please be the Hunter Brown we had this year. Kikuchi's not under contract, so we're gonna try and re-sign him. It sounds like, but I don't. Go ahead.
I mean, I think I don't know about Kikuchi. Like, he was good. He was. I mean, but I think our what we thought was going to happen was going to be like, oh, this is going to be like the mid-range, not a good pitcher, and then he came in and actually flourished. So who knows if he can keep that up next season because he's never shown it before. It's not like this is a career trend where he has ups and downs. He just had downs. So I say downs. It's not like he was a bad pitcher. He just wasn't a good pitcher. He was a mid-rate pitcher. So that's sad to see Urquidy, but that makes sense. I mean, he hasn't pitched in a year and a half, and he's not going to be he's not a superstar pitcher. So we're okay letting that one go.
And then we hope Garcia comes back, Luis Garcia, and same thing as always, Lance McCullers Jr. Whatever, man. And then Spaghetti. Aaron Getty.
I mean, for McCullers, and I was going to say McCuller Jr., but McCullers. I mean, I've been pretty. Yeah. I've been pretty. Well, I don't. Well, Verlander even be around.
He might retire.
Yeah, that's the thing. With McCullers, it's kind of. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I like the guy personally. He seems like a great guy, but I just he had won like a couple spectacular games against the Yankees, and then it's like, oh, he's great, and it just he had. I know. I don't want to say
he's the World Series as well, but
yeah, I don't want to say he's a one-trick pony, but he feels like he can be a one-trick pony sometimes, and it's either on or it's really off, and it seems to be off more than on these days. So I'm okay with letting that one go. Again, I love the guy. Seems like a great guy. It's just when it comes to pitching, there are other pitchers out there who do better than he does.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that's our 5, right? If Garcia comes back, it's Framber next year, Hunter Brown, Aaron Getty, Luis Garcia, LMJ if he's there. But if LMJ is not there, we got to go out and get someone, or I don't know, Forrest Whitney, or if we re-sign Kikuchi. Or there's a possibility that we resign Verlander, but that's looking doubtful. He might just straight up retire. So
yeah, he probably. I mean, I don't want to say he should, but like, given the season, just injury after injury, and just not looking good at the end, it might be worth it just to say maybe he trains on the offseason. We'll see what happens with that, and he looks better. But in the long run, it might be he needs to seriously consider it just for his own sake at that point, because there's no reason to go just get destroyed for a whole season and deal with injuries the entire time. So again, we'll see what happens with this. I do think we'll go get a pitcher, but that's maybe just Dana Brown, Jeff Bagwell have surprised me so far. That's all I'll say on that front. Also, they've surprised me and they can do it again.
I don't have anything on NBA, but I know you have stuff on college basketball.
Yeah, college basketball started this past week and it was glorious. I mean, there's a lot to say. There's a lot to do. I love, like, the thing is, I love college basketball, but I fully readily admit it is way worse than the NBA in every possible way. Like, there was I don't know what game it was. Maybe it's the Stanford game. Stanford and somebody during the day on Monday. I was watching. I was like, oh, this is just the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. And I still loved it. I was so excited for it. With that, all that said, SEC, they lost, the 4 of them lost games. A&M lost to UCF, and Texas lost as well. Both were ranked. So I love seeing that. I'm a big SEC hater when it comes to I think their teams overplay offense and underplay defense, and it really shows in the tournament. Baylor got, and I want to say murdered by Gonzaga. I mean, it was like 100 and something to 60 something. That was a murder. Yes.
So wait, the SEC is heavy on offense and low key on defense in college basketball, and the Big 12 is heavy on defense, low key on offense.
Yes.
So it's basketball switched,
basically,
or football switched.
Yeah, basically.
Hilarious.
It's a hilarious.
Because the SEC is dominant defenses and a couple dominant offenses, and the Big 12 was known for a very long time of having zero defense and all offense, all gas, no breaks.
I mean, we'll talk about this later, but the Big 12 this year in football only has breaks, and there's no gas whatsoever behind any team there. But yeah,
traditionally, it's swapped from their football counterparts.
Yes,
okay, interesting.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it feels like half the counterparts have left for other leagues at this point in the Big 12, but yes. Also, so Gonzaga and Baylor were both ranked. It was like 8 and 9. It was close, like 6 and 8 or something like that. Gonzaga being 6 and Baylor being 8, something like that. So they got murdered. And this is supposed to be the year of Big 12 basketball. Which, I mean, Big 12 basketball looked good, but you play cupcakes. Like UH won its game, but we played Jackson State. Like, it wasn't, we weren't playing a well-established program. Coach Prime can, do something for Colorado for the basketball program. Big Ten is 14-0. ACC is 15-0. This Saturday, UH plays Auburn, and it's at the Toyota Center. So it's a neutral site. It's that neutral site, but it's, 10 minutes from UH's stadium. So
next week you said Houston plays Notre Dame and Alabama.
Yeah, so it's next week. It's so it's at a tournament somewhere. I don't know where. So It plays Alabama one day and then Notre Dame the next day. So It's the Jordan Bryan off.
Wow.
We're gonna get each
You're
other.
Gonna have
off.
to shoot me those times. I'm gonna have to make sure to watch.
They're at noon. So.
I'm on a sabbatical, so I will be at home needing something to do.
100%. And it's a tournament as well, so it's somewhere in the country. I never know where. Half the time, they're in Annapolis, but it's gonna be a fun time for that, and I'm excited for that. Alabama's a really good team. Notre Dame, they play football. So if UH and Notre Dame play football, it'll be a very fun time for you. Not so much for me. We'll get to football later because we're going to talk about hockey real quickly. You a couple weeks back spoke about who do the Avs hate. I have learned that the Maple Leafs really hate the Bruins a lot. And I don't know if that's just all of hockey because they're a Boston team, or I don't know if the Bruins are historically good. Again, they're
historically good.
Okay. It might just be like the Yankees thing where if you beat the Yankees, you're like, yes. But they really hate the Bruins. And it was fun to see because they're 7-5-2 now. They beat the Bruins clean. So it was a shutout, which again, Stolars's save rate has gone up to 928 last time I saw. So I still don't know if he's better than anyone else. I know there's been talk about him sitting against Woll, or Woll sitting and him starting, just fooling out, no longer switching that much. I also saw that Marner and Nylander are still at the top of the points table and I think it's Marner is the one who gets mostly assists. So he's 10 assists to Nylander's 10 goals. Austin Matthews also hit a bank shot and said it was because he knew geometry. He's hurt right now. But yeah, I mean, and I also learned hockey's really expensive. It's to watch. It's just not expensive. It's expensive in general, but to watch, you have to buy different subscriptions, a ton. Now I say that with a winky face. I'm like Adam Schefter who watches meth streams. So I understand that, but that's my kind of hockey update. It's been a crazy busy sports week just in general. Busy week in general, but a crazy sports week. We have a vague equinox kind of the week. So that's all for my Maple Leafs talk.
So I know the Maple Leafs also hate the Canadians a lot. That is y'all's gung ho, number one, it's on site. Mm-hmm. It looked like we have three big rivals. Our biggest, the OG one, which is kind of simmered down a little bit, is apparently the Detroit Red Wings. Then we do not like the Wild at all. And then we don't really like the Dallas Stars. And right when I found that out, I was like, nice!
You're like, I hate that city too.
Unfortunately, we are sitting one game under 500 right now.
Okay.
So back to being the best under 500 team in the NHL. So I'm going to spin that narrative.
Is Kale still killing it?
All hail Kale. He's a defenseman. He's got a negative 8 plus minus right now. Okay, not super well, but it's because he had that super slow start. Now, Nathan McKinnon leads the team with 25 points, and that's about it. I really need to watch a game soon because I have yet to do that except for one period last week.
Well, you'll be happy to say I watched another game, and it was another one of those. It was against, I don't want to say, maybe it's the Wild, actually. Maybe I'm thinking that because I just heard it from you. It was another one of those overtime things, except we won this time.
Nice.
It was still cool. We lost that one. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Oh no. Okay. Here's the question I have. And I asked because I'm looking at points leaders right now. Mm-hmm. Nathan McKinnon has 25. Cole Makar has 23. All right.
Kale.
Oh yeah, it's Kale, not Cole. Sorry, I blame ESPN's font. Is this the Angels of the NHL with the two best players in the league, but under 500?
I don't know about best players in the league, but two top 10 players in the league. Yeah.
Brian, I'm looking at what is according to ESPN's NHL stat leaders 24-25 skating leaders, and Nathan McKinnon and Kale all have Kale at the top. Now, I literally know nothing about hockey.
What does skating leaders mean?
I think so.
Is that most time skate?
No. You know how you get points in hockey?
Uh-huh.
So a goal is a point and an assist is a point.
Uh-huh.
They both have the highest points. So Nathan McKinnon has 25 and Kale Makar has 23. And those are the two top ones. Nick.
So there you go. Yes. We are the Angels right now.
Oh, sorry. There's a guy. The next guy's name is Nikita Kucherov. I thought he was who was that old Soviet Nikita Khrushchev. I saw Nikita Khrushchev immediately. This is something only people who were, I don't know, not real 90s kids, as in you were, alive during the 90s. Not us. We were, but not really.
We weren't conscious.
I don't remember 9/11. That's kind of my...
I remember coming home and my mom crying and being very happy that I got to go home early from school and then not understanding.
I heard very happy. I was like, what the fuck?
But 6-year-old me, they hit the second tower! This stays in.
This stays in, yeah.
This stays in. It's not a clip, but this stays in.
You're like, I just really hate the capitalism and the way it portrays itself through a building and architecture. By the way, Nikita
Buy the dip.
I hate your old pal. Why are we Mickey Mouse? I don't know.
6-year-old me was Mickey Mouse, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, weren't we all? Weren't we all little Mickey Mouses in our day? Nikita Khrushchev died in 1971, so you were
okay.
Yeah, so he was around at some point. I'm keeping that in the hockey thing because I'm gonna be like, hey, I know Nikita Khrushchev. That's big. Anthony, I also looking at goaltending leaders. Anthony Stolarz is 5th behind other people. Winnipeg Jets is only 4. Interesting. Winnipeg Jets are the best team in the league. Interesting stuff. We're learning about hockey still. It's fun to watch. It's expensive to watch. Apparently, I don't use.
The Jets were in Winnipeg. To be honest, I just knew them as the Jets.
Well, I mean, the Jets are also in New York, and they're kind of winning sometimes. I know one guy who had a great week, so hopefully we'll see on Sunday if he plays well, like Nick Bosa. I worry for Nick Bosa's opponent this week. I don't know who it is, but he's going to do well. Just quickly, soccer update. Liverpool's still top of the table. I saw something in the Coupe de France, which is like the National Cup of France. There's a team in France that has to go play a team in another part of France. And the other part of France is Tahiti. And that's a 22-hour journey for that one team. Now, I do not remember any of the names of the teams. I know it's like the Tahiti team is like Tahiti something. But that's just the cool part of soccer when you have territories and you have to go fly to play, Oh, yeah,
nice.
I have to go play in Tahiti. Oh, it is on a Wednesday, I think, which kind of sucks. Then they have to go play on Saturday in France. But, you get to go to Tahiti for a day, maybe spend some time on the beach. Listen, it might be a pretty stadium. I don't know. It's like that stadium in Greenland? Yeah, Greenland. Whatever. But yeah, that's my soccer update. Not much this week. Liverpool looks great as well. They destroyed Bayern Leverkusen, which is Xabi Alonso's team, which is an old player for Liverpool who won the Champions League with them. Fun times. Again, it's been like a busy weekend when it comes to sports because college football rankings are out finally. Woo!
College football rankings. Woo!
Woo! It's the most important thing to happen yesterday.
Hey, your BYU thing. They're number 4.
Yeah, so they're number 4. So I don't know if I can talk because that like meme that's like the hater said I couldn't do it and the haters were correct.
Yes.
Okay. So I come on here and just railed for Kansas State and Iowa State. I've been like, rank them higher, you cowards. And then I watched them this past weekend, and UH won somehow. I wish I know. I have to. There's someone.
Dude, it was miserable conditions, dude.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was looking at the stadium. I was like, oh, there's a reason there are like 3 people there. It looks horrible. Because it's also hot. It's not like a cool chill. It's hot. It sucked. Muggy. That's what I actually.
Good time. It's just horrible weather. Yeah. Turn on off because it would be like, oh man, it'd be like downpour of rain, 80-degree weather, so instantly just the fucking moggiest, soggiest, humid bullshit to walk through. Yeah,
and UH Stadium is. It has places you can hide, but you can't hide from the weather. It's hard to hide from the weather. So. Yeah, that's not like a shitty game to be at, honestly. Not a fun time at the stadium. But, it was a fun game. There was the worst. Now, here's the thing. Kansas State had the worst fake kick attempt I've ever seen. Now, I don't think it was a fake kick attempt. I think the kicker missed twice. And they just were like looking back, because I was in the multi-box view on YouTube TV when I was watching it, and I saw what happened. I was like, what just happened? Because it was like the way I perceived it originally from the box was the placeholder said, I'm going to make them think he's going to kick it. But then he like gave him a second chance to kick it, to like really fool them. And the thing is, and watching it back on highlights, he just missed. Like the kicker just missed. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It puts that Pat McAfee thing to shame. The worst fake of all time or whatever it was. So, good job, Kansas State. There's a reason you're not. What are you ranked? They're ranked in like, I think the college football had them at 19. They actually have all three Big 12 teams kind of in the same place, minus BYU, who is at 9, which good for the Mormons. You get something.
That first half over, which was 23.5, had no business hitting. Because I found out we were only staying for halftime because that's when my fiance's cheer event, with her cheerleaders that she coaches for work, was going on. So I was like, oh shit, I have the full game over, which didn't hit. But I was like, put the first half over in. There's a minute left, and there's like, they had no business winning. And there's like a minute left. U of H was driving. They turned the ball over. And I was like, K-State has a chance. And they fucking did it. And I was like, it was so bad. I'm wearing red. And I, like, right when the touchdown was scored, I cheered. And some guy looked at me and he was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have the first half over. And he was like, what was it? I was like, 23.5. He was like, nice. And gave me a high five. And then he was like, but you're a U of H fan. I was like, no.
Here's the thing. UH fans will make fun of UH more than anybody else. So that guy's, I don't know. I've gone to games before and been like, good job, other team. But yeah, Zion Chris played a good game. That 42-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter, killer. I mean, that broke the game. That won the game. Kansas State just, it's more imploded. There's also something to say about like UH's defense actually being scalably good. Let's call it scalably good. For what is on the team, they're scalably good. It's not like they're good. I'm not going to put them up against an SEC team. That would be sad to watch, like actually pitiful. But yeah.
Speaking of SEC teams, Notre Dame dropped to 10 because Texas A&M lost. We were on bye this week, so I was just like, whatever. I have a stress-free weekend ahead of me for college football. Nope, because A&M couldn't get it done against South Carolina, who I've been talking about all season being a little bit of a scrappy team. They've been covering a lot of their they've been underdogs in almost all their games, but they've been covering almost all their spreads. And I was like, yeah, they're a scrappy team. They're normally right there. And then they finally did it against the one person I don't want them to do it again because I needed Texas A&M to win out. But yeah, we dropped to 10.
There's something to be said about South Carolina at home against a ranked team with playoff aspirations. They come out like prime Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like, it's just unbelievable the things they do to teams. It was fun, as an A&M hater, it's fun to watch, but also as a person who likes pain on the show to create takes, it was also fun to watch. But it was a killer game for South Carolina. So good for them. They continue to break the hopes of everyone who wants to make the playoffs. Vanderbilt, by the way, they're ranked. They're also bowl eligible. They're bowl eligible for I think the 10th time in their history, which is, I mean, that's insane. Like the more that I think about this, and more crazier it gets. So good for them. Good for their quarterback, whose name I completely blanked on. But who said all honor to God, and they go like, fuck, I want to fuck this shit up on TV. Good for him. I hope he's doing well today.
Georgia might be the greatest second half team ever. They just they love either going down or looking like trash. Like when they won it against Alabama, right? Mm-hmm. Alabama was kicking the shit out of them in the first half. They come out and almost won the damn game. This time, Florida jamming down their throat. They have 6 points at half. Oh, we're going to score 28 points in the second half and we're going to secure the win. Yeah. Georgia might be the best second half team, or maybe Kirby's got them fucking adjusting really well at halftime or something. But their first half team and their second half team are two different teams. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's a good team. Like, I don't know what to say to that other than I think Kirby Smart is good at making adjustments, and I appreciate that about a coach, especially a college coach, because college coaches, I think, really make adjustments as they should. I hate to bring it back to the Colts week 1, where they literally saw the game plan and said, we're just not going to change it. That feels like a lot of college coaches a lot of the time, and so I'm happy to see that. I'm interested to see where Georgia winds up at the end of the season. I'm like, by the way, Florida State, who will wind up nowhere because they've gone 1-7 in ACC play. 1-7. That was a year after they had a legitimate claim to being left out of the college football playoff, like a good, solid claim where we were all fighting for them. They've gone 1-7 in ACC play. That is historic. And that is on one person in the world who should be hunted down and forcibly fed dog poop.
Yeah, he cursed that team. Yeah, we play them this week, actually. So I really hope we don't pull a Notre Dame and fucking lose to a 1-7 team.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I have to take us back to baseball real quickly about curses. I hope that fucking fan in the stands, that douchebag, whatever his name may be, I hope it's now a curse on the Yankees that they can never even get back to the World Series. Like something just always happens. Like the 5th inning always happens again. I hate that guy. Guy
he was
sucks.
kind of fat. Curse of the damn Cheeto.
Curse of the damn Cheeto. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I don't like that guy. I mean, it's easy to say, but the curse made me think of that. I hope they're cursed now.
It would be funny. Curse of the Bambino, curse of the Bam Cheeto. Yeah, no, I'm about it. I really hope it's true. I'm okay with the Yankees being cursed, especially because they would have. I hope it's as long as the curse of the Bambino too, over 100 years.
I mean, actually, I hope it's a perpetual curse, and they have to go on a quest to break it. Aaron Judge himself has to go on a spiritual quest to kiss a prince to break it.
Wait, over 100 years was Cubs, not
it was Sox. Because that was so it was 19. What was Bambino around? 1920s,
30s, I thought.
Yeah, and they got 2004 was
five, something like that.
2005 was UT winning the national championship. 2004, I think, was the Red Sox winning.
Yeah. Gosh, okay. So still, I hope it's just as long as the curse of the Bambino.
They're both equally very long curses, and which we hope they have to go through as well. Sorry to take us off that. I thought of that immediately.
I've only got 3 more college notes, really. One is that State Penn is no longer undefeated. They just cannot beat Ohio State. They just can't do it. No matter on down seasons that Ohio State has. Like this is not the best Ohio State team we've seen. They're really not. Now they lost to the number 1 or who used to. Are they still number 1? Oregon's still number 1?
Oregon's still number 1.
Okay, so that's the number 1 Oregon by 1 point, sure. But this still, looking at the other games, Ohio State hasn't looked that good this season. They still can roll in to Penn State, and they didn't dominate them by any means, but they still beat that ass at the end. They what was it, a 10-point lead after a pick 6, and at home, and Penn State fucking collapsed and let Ohio State come back and win. They just cannot beat Ohio State. It's very funny to me.
I'm going to say something that I don't think Michigan fans can be a big fan of what I'm about to say. The Big Ten runs through Ohio State. Like, it just does. It just genuinely does at this point. That's the reason Indiana's not going to get ranked higher until they can show that they can beat Ohio State. And they play 2, 3, 4 weeks. I'm just starting naming numbers.
End of the season.
End of the season. Sometime at the end of the season. So the Big Ten runs through Ohio State. They are the gatekeepers to excellence in the entire league. But just quickly, speaking of excellence, Ashton Giante.
So good.
Listen, I am fully aware that they're not playing like the strongest teams in the world. It's not like they're playing the best defenses in the world.
You play who you play.
But 1,500 yards with 20 touchdowns. I mean, he's going to by the end of this season, which, I mean, that's one of the greatest seasons of running backs in history.
He has been slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's not a cause for concern. He'll be okay.
No, I think I think he's gotten a fewer carries as time has gone on, which makes sense. You can't keep up like the same amount he was going the entire time. But I am still like, whenever I look at the Heisman for like the Heisman race, I do think he's probably the only one I can imagine getting it. There's no one else who I'm like, well, sorry, the only one who I'm like, this person deserves it right now, at least. There are the people who I can imagine getting it. I can still imagine Cam Ward getting it.
Imagine Travis Hunter too.
I still imagine Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter, the two-way thing really helps him a lot.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, let's, for the record, not to take that away. It's just not like he's not having an excellent season in either, but it's just that the excellence comes from that he's having a season in either. Which
talent wise, he's top 5 in each position. He's top 5 in each position, but he's not having top 5 position or top 5 seasons in both positions this year.
Which again,
I think he's a top 5 cornerback right now, like statistically and on the field, top 5 cornerback. But he hasn't had, and he's had some amazing catches and some amazing plays on offense too. But I wouldn't say he's a top 5 wide receiver right now.
No, well, I think
season to prove me wrong though. There's still time.
I don't even think
he doesn't
give
a fuck about what I say either.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think that's his fault. I think Shedeur has an offensive line of flowers. Like, I mean that they're just actually flowers. They blow in the wind sometimes. They can maybe stop a small ant. So it's not like Shedeur's getting like, oh, I'm not going to throw to Travis all the time. It's like he just can't. It's impossible. So they also ranked. Good for them. They're going to go to some bowl game and have fun. I don't think they're making the playoffs though.
No, they'd have to win out, and they need a lot of help. I have two last notes, which is the two big upcoming for the week is 11 Alabama at 14 LSU. You two are scrapping for one of those last playoff spots. That should be a fun, good game. I do think LSU wins because they are at home, and this Alabama team hasn't been the Alabama that we've known for the past decade, but that's the Saban effect. And then number 2, Georgia at number 16, Ole Miss. Should be good, but once again, this feels like a Georgia goes down at halftime, down 10, 14, take whatever their live money line is, they run it back and win the game. That's my prediction. Well, don't really listen to that.
They don't do a lot of running in that place. They do a lot of driving. They should run more. That's not even a good joke. It's not even a good joke.
Don't listen to my betting advice. I went 3-9 last week in the NCAA, and I have brought my season total for college football to 52, 75, and 6. I am getting massacred in college football.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the bet. I mean, and we'll talk about it later. And NFL, you're doing better. So,
yeah.
All right, NFL. The Texans had a week.
Yes, they did. They're broken. We're a broken team right now. Our offensive line is absolute dog ass. Shout out Christian. That's his phrase, dog ass. So they're fucking trash. I hate all of them. Kenyon Green might be my least favorite player of all time on the Texans. Bobby Slowick stinks. God, that fade route to CJ Stroud that was just a throwaway play. Now Mixon, for a running back, can throw the ball. He has multiple passing touchdowns. Don't get cute with it. This is a way too close of a game for you to be cute with it. We're not the Lions, which we are going to play them this week. That's going to suck. Bobby Slowick has no command or no one. I don't want to say fears because that's more of a college but he has no real authority over the offense. It feels like it's sloppy play. It's no one's listening to him. This offensive line pisses me off so badly, man. And CJ Stroud, body language wise, looks so bad. He looks frustrated. He looks upset. He looks mad at the play calling. He looks mad at his at all the other offensive players outside of Joe Mixon and Nico Collins, who hasn't been there for a couple of weeks. Man.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think you said this was going to be a calm down game this week. The Jets just wrecked. I was gonna say poor offensive line, not poor offensive line. It's been week after week after week. It's been since week 1. We've been commenting that this offensive line, for one reason or another, is just failing CJ over and over again. I do think Slowick, they need to have a Bears meeting with him and just be like, buddy, you gotta call something less conservative. Get together, call something, please. I truly do think he does not know how to scheme for fast receivers. That may just be a flaw in his game planning. That may just be that he doesn't want to. That may just be that he can't. Maybe just be like something he just doesn't understand as like any sort of intellectual level. It is hard to see. We have been here before as a team watching an offensive line let a quarterback down over and over again. This is kind of the Texans like franchise curse. I don't know if it's the franchise curse of that you have a quarterback who looks good and then you have an offensive line who just lets them down. I mean, there's other things that have happened like felonies, but that's to do with the offensive line. So in a way, this could be a felony. They could be charged in football court with, I don't know, Peyton Manning probably is the head of that because he has so many jobs these days.
We might get Nico Collins back. That's a bright spot. If that happens, everything opens back up. Joe Mixon is still good. Joe Mixon is the only person I'm not upset with on the offense. Like, I'm not really upset with CJ Stroud, but he missed several throws. Like, it's not all been on the offensive line these past 2 games. I'm not worried about him long term. I think he's a top 5-7 quarterback in the league. Yeah. He's a sophomore slumps happen. It's fine. I'm not worried about CJ at all. It's just, hey man, you're the young gun leader of the team. Don't be reacting like that. And who knows what's going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I imagine it gets frustrating at some point.
Oh yeah,
like you just thing after thing.
He's 22. Of course, he's gonna get mad.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting angry at an offensive line from right here, and we're 28 years old. I can't imagine him in that position.
Having to be that young,
being the de facto leader of the team. Like the thing with the quarterbacks, they're a de facto leader of the team. I can't imagine being in that situation and being chill in any capacity.
Defense, I'm okay with the defense. They were on the field for a lot of that game, so I think they're fine. The defense is fine. They got a lot of work to do this week, though. They got the scariest team in the NFL coming to town in prime time, which is a recipe for absolute disaster.
Yeah, I mean, holding that Jets team to 21. I mean, I know they're not the best, but like holding them to 21, it possibly could have been more, but holding them to 21, I'm not going to complain about that. D'Amico Ryans is trying the best he can. Again, if CJ could have thrown maybe 2 more touchdowns, or a couple of, get a field goal in there, who knows? The game's won. So I'm not like incredibly like this season's over. Like Texans are gonna lose this next week. It's just gonna happen. That's when you're playing probably the best team in the league. It's hard. Don't get me started. The best team in the league. Chiefs are like they're never gonna lose. But
yeah, that's my next note, by the way.
Yeah, they just they physically cannot, and it's not like they look like the best team in the league. Like they just don't.
No,
they just win.
That's the worst part. They're not playing their best ball.
Yeah.
But they're still winning. They're still finding out ways to win. They trade for a receiver that hasn't looked like himself for 2 years, and he comes in on his second game, scores 2 touchdowns, one of the amazing. It's not fucking super, OBJ behind his head, bringing it back and stuff. But one of the best catches I've ever seen was between that triple coverage, having the wherewithal and the concentration to watch that ball come in, and he scores 2 touchdowns on top of that. Patrick Mahomes is going to bring out the best in him. He's going to bring out the best that he's ever played, because that's the thing. He has never been a speedster, so people are saying he lost a step because he's never been super fast. He's wide receiver. He's wide receiver 1 fast.
Yeah.
But he's a 6'4" freak athlete with some of the most insane hands this league has ever seen. He is what the Chiefs have been missing. And the more he learns the playbook, the more he gets going. This could just be the beginning. They're never going to lose. For people that thought he was washed, that were like, oh, he's old. He's only 32. First off, he's only 32. Second off, he's not washed. Just look at the teams he's been playing on. The Arizona Cardinals weren't that great, and he still had several highlight reels out there. But when he went to the Titans, the Titans have been horrible passing the ball. They've been horrible passing the ball. They've been great running the ball. Hopkins has lost step. He's not the same receiver. No, he goes over to the Chiefs 2 games in. He has a 2 touchdown game, 70-something yards, 8 catches or whatever. Man, the Chiefs are they're gonna fucking do it. Because also Travis Kelce's woken up and he started doing his thing. Oh, and they're doing all of this with missing their best running back in Pacheco, who could be back in the next couple of weeks, which is just going to open up the entire offense. Worthy's getting better every game. Now he had a big mistake where he stepped out of bounds, backing up for that touchdown. It was not a great play, but he's a young 21-year-old, 22-year-old. He's once that gets corrected, and he's the fastest receiver to ever come into the league from the combine time. This is going to be a problem, and they are going to repeat because they also have not to mention everything I just said, they have a top 5 defense.
Yeah. I mean, I think we said at the beginning of the season that maybe they'll start slowly, but the thing with them is like they're waking up. Like you said, they're waking up, and we're not even close. Like the Chiefs' main form probably is not going to start until the playoffs, and I'll book that because we have 10 more weeks of football before playoffs start or so. Because it's week 9, we got a week 19, 20.
They're going to have a bye week, so they're not going to be in.
Yeah.
They're not even be in the wild card round, so they're going to have more time to get healthy, get right, game plan, and
yeah. I mean, it's almost like they are cursed with success. Like no matter how badly they play, they're gonna win. And this is going to be the most underwhelming 17-0 season we've ever seen. Well, most underwhelming winning season, like full-on winning season we've ever seen, actually. We're like, it's never a point where I'm like, wow, this is a great team. It could be by like, their last game, like week 17, or not week 17, but like game 17, where it's like, oh, they are the best team by far and they're going to kill it, blah, blah, blah. I imagine we'll go into the playoffs being like, they're beatable. And then they're just not going to be. And it's going to be whatever. Whoever they play in the playoffs, they're going to play the Lions in the playoffs and make them look silly. Like, it just happens.
Yeah, they're going to play Lions Chiefs Super Bowl. Everyone in America is going to cheer for the Lions, but it's going to be the most Lions shit ever to lose. And it's just going to be heartbreaking.
I mean, that is the curse of every other team. Like the Bills, the past couple of years have always been the team where like they can't do it, and then they go against the Chiefs. Something stupid happens, and it's over. So, I don't know. I'm like frustrated at this point.
Me too, man. And now I'm starting to understand people's hatred for the Texans or for the Astros. Yeah. To be honest, I get it.
I've always understood like the whole point of like you hate good teams because they're just annoying to be around because they just Warriors. Win. Like they're always going to be there, always in contention. They're just always fucking up the little fun plans you have. You have these like mental ideas of like this will be a fun World Series. Next thing you know, the Astros are there again. I get it as like a fan of a good team. I'm just so tired of it. Because we went from Brady to Mahomes, and it's like we never had like I saw like a couple years where it's like, hey, we have some fun Super Bowls coming up. Like let's get the Lions and the Ravens in there. Let's shake it up a little bit. God,
I hope that would be such a fun game.
Oh my God.
I hope that's the Super Bowl this year.
It's not, but like I hope too. Mostly because the MVP of the league and the MVP number 2 are going to be on that team.
Dude, they're so good. So fucking good.
I saw a post-game interview where someone mentioned that, or like the post-game reporter mentioned that, and Derrick Henry was like, "No, it's all this guy right here," and pointing to Lamar because Lamar's so good. I still think he can get better as well, which is the most fun thing about him. John Harbaugh's done wonders with Lamar Jackson's and getting him, I was going to say raised up, but like getting him better as a quarterback and kind of ironing some of those flaws he had in Louisville.
Joe Flacco, dude. Speaking of the complete other side of this, from Lamar Jackson to Joe Flacco, man, the Colts thought he might be the savior to their season. He looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, I picked him to win this past week because I'm like, there's just something about Flacco, knowing full well that there's nothing about Flacco at this point. He's too old. The Colts are, I almost want to say, and we talk about the theme of this podcast right now is curses. Letting Peyton Manning go, which was probably the right move, but letting Peyton Manning go has created some kind of curse where they just can't get a quarterback to be good. They can't get a quarterback to stay and be good and be healthy. And they have pieces there. It's just every time the pieces kind of come together, the quarterback's just a question. The quarterback can't do it. And there's like a curse. There's some kind of curse. Maybe it's a curse of Andrew Luck, but there's a curse nonetheless in that organization. This is our Colts, their team. Apparently they don't even bleed at this point because they're dead on the inside.
Caleb Williams will be fine. for everyone. The Bears are going to be fine. This is a process. You got to get Eberflus out of there. It's going to be fine. He's so talented that it's going to suck for the rest of the season. But because the Bears don't fire coaches midseason. But once y'all get a new offensive, I maybe it's just Big Cat getting in my head, but he keeps on talking about Ben Johnson from the Lions. Dude, if they get Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from the Lions, to unlock Caleb Williams, that man, it would be incredible. But they've got players basically giving up in the middle of games. DJ Moore. They've got Khalil Herbert getting traded to the Bengals and on the way out tweeting, "Thank you, God." Like Eberflus is a problem. They got to let him go and try and turn this thing around.
Just quickly, by the way, talking about bad offensive play, did you see the stat that between Daniel Jones's touchdown at the Meadowlands this past weekend, and then the one before that, the Chiefs have won 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
That's insane. That's like a stat that it has to be made up. Like,
he has to have been out for the past 2 seasons. He's got to have back-to-back torn ACL. Oh, what?
No. Like, the funniest part of this is the Giants just refuse to do anything about it. Like, they're just like, no, this is our guy. Like, we don't. They had like a caricature of an Italian on their team this last season or the season before. And like, at least that was a moneymaker in terms of merch. You maybe could go buy a new quarterback for that.
Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. I don't even know where he is these days.
He's still on the team.
Okay, I hope him and his weird agent are doing well. But yeah, the Bears, give it some time; they'll figure it out. Matt Eberflus, maybe the people of Chicago do what they have to fix the situation.
I've only got one more note, and that's no more Lattimore versus Evans boxing matches, Bucks versus Saints. And unfortunately, the Bucks already played the Chiefs this year, or the Bucks already played the Commanders this year, so we don't even get to see that.
I think in the era of celebrity boxing, we should allow Lattimore and Mike Evans to fight each other just for fun,
dude. Yes, 100% support.
Yeah. Just, every year, just, for charity, they get together and just try to kill each other because they hate each other with a passion. Like a passion I can't understand. I hate nothing as much as those two hate each other.
I never understood 6 years ago, I didn't really understand the phrase on site. I was like, oh yeah, I hate people, and if I see them, I kind of scowl or oh, fuck them or whatever, right? And then I saw these two go at it over and over again. I was like, oh, it literally is on site. It's Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson, but every single fucking time. Finnegan and Andre did not like each other for a long time, but they only had one big fight. These guys, it's every single fucking time.
If I were a more scheming and influential man, I'd somehow get them in the same place at the same restaurant at the same time, and just see if it goes down. Because I don't imagine they're going to walk past each other and be like, "Hey," it's going to be like LeBron and everybody. It's not going to be like LeBron and Chris Paul, where it's like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" It's going to be like, "I'm going to kill you right now." It's that Key and Peele sketch where it's like, the MMA one where there's one guy who's like, fight. And the other guy's like, God has chosen me to kill you. Except they're both the guy who's God has chosen to kill. So I know Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, get them on the undercard or something. I want to see this again in my lifetime. So
that's all I got for the NFL. You got anything?
Yeah. Saquon. What the fuck?
Oh my God. Disgusting. 180 hurdle?
Yeah, it was a 180.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know what causes a man to think he can do that. The audacity you have to have in physics, the unbelievability and the laws of gravity you have to try that in the middle of a game. I am appalled at what I've seen in the best possible way. And some people will say, why appalled? I'm appalled because it's possible. I thought we had reached all power, the peak of human physicality in some senses. No, we can go higher. We're doing 360 no scopes in football games now. We have reached
so stupid, dude.
We have reached the pinnacle of human physicality. There's nothing more I can see in it. Patrick Mahomes can do whatever he wants in a football game. I'll be like, wow, that's really cool. we've reached it. They figured it out. Saquon, you figured it out. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm proud to have been able to witness it through replays. I didn't see it live, but through replays, I've been glad to see it.
I got to see it live, and it was incredible. Don't do it again. You will get murdered. I feel like you got really lucky. You walked away unscathed.
Yeah. I mean, just one last thing I had. Bo Nix catching a touchdown pass. Turns out he was his own wide receiver one. He's been looking for one all season. Turns out he is his own wide receiver one, which, I think is genuinely hilarious because Bo Nix I've actually been a fan of this season. I made jokes about Sean Payton being idiotic, thinking that he can be the guy, but he's just not. So,
you want to roll over to picks?
Let's do our picks. This past week, we talked the week before about how this past week be the week where we finally, have some separation. Turns out we just both went 8-7, 7-8. Yeah, so we split.
I went 7-8. You went 8-7.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So I'm 75-68 now. Woohoo! What are you, Brian?
75-68.
Yeah.
I am 78-60. Someone did some bad math.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm 78-65 because that makes sense. Because I know the wins were right. I think I miscounted my L's.
Okay.
So we're fucking 3 games away from each other.
I'm going to have to go through at some point and actually go. One day I'm going to decide, with week 16, I'll sit down and be like, go through everything and or we can just use the honor system and be like, we're probably right.
I think I had a lead, but I've not. You've closed the gap for sure. You've had better weeks than me in the past 6 weeks. So yeah. I think it's only a 3-game lead.
Yeah. So
we can both sit down and go through it. Next year we will make sure I'm going to make a separate note for this and keep track of each week and not delete them like I have been.
Yeah.
So I'll have, after the podcast, I'll make the note. I should probably tell you this after, not during the podcast. I'll make a note and put J and B, and I'll just have a long list for every single week that has them all listed.
That's fair. We'll figure something out. This isn't a perfect system. As this experiment evolves, we'll figure it out. As we collect more data, this experiment will evolve.
All right. Thursday Night Football, Bengals, Ravens.
Give me the Ravens here.
Give me the Ravens. Giants, Panthers over in Germany.
With Machine Gun Kelly performing as well. I'm sorry, Germans. You thought the Treaty of Versailles was bad. This is the Treaty of Munich. Give me the Giants.
I'll take the Panthers. Patriots, Bears.
Give me the Bears.
Give me the Bears. 49ers, Bucks.
Give me the 49ers.
Give me the 49ers. Broncos, Chiefs.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs. Give me the
Chiefs.
Yeah, okay.
Bills, Colts.
Give me the Bills.
Give me the Bills. Steelers, Commanders.
Give me the Commanders here.
Give me the Steelers.
Okay.
Vikings, Jaguars.
Give me the Vikings.
Give me the Vikings. Falcons, Saints.
Give me the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons. Titans, Chargers.
Give me the Chargers, actually.
Give me the Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Jets, Cardinals.
I mean, Cardinals every week.
Jets. Okay, cool. So we have 3 games right there. Eagles, Cowboys.
Give me the Eagles.
Give me the Eagles. Lions, Texans.
Give me the Texans. Oh, no, sorry. Give me the Lions. My bad.
Okay, give us I'll gladly take the Lions. No, I'm taking the Lions. And then Dolphins, Rams.
I'm going to take the Dolphins because they actually look good this past week.
Okay. So I'm going to take the Rams. So we've got 4 differences there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll have a little bit of fun this week.
This is not a great week for matchups, to be honest.
No.
I don't love the card, this entire card. So I also went 8-6-1 last week, and now my totals are 71, 66, and 2. Okay. So I'm just above 500. It's not been great. But Thursday Night Football starts off with Bengals, Ravens over 53. I'm a sucker for overs, man. Panthers plus 5.5. Falcons minus 3.5. Broncos, Chiefs under 41.5. 49ers, Bucks under 50.5. Bills minus 4. Vikings, Jaguars over 47.5. Steelers, Commanders under 45.5. Patriots, Bears under 39. Jets money line. Eagles, Cowboys under 42. Chargers minus 7.5. Lions, Texans over 50. Rams minus 2.5. I took a lot of unders this week, and I guarantee this is going to be an overs week because I've done so.
I mean, it probably will. What is the rule of betting? Betting hates you. So
just straight up despises me.
Brian, anything else to talk to the people about today?
Nothing sports wise, but I will be streaming Bloodborne on Friday with Neil. That'll be a drinking experience too. And then I might be streaming tomorrow. I'm also going golfing early in the morning with my dad, so I may just fold on it and just stream on Friday instead. But no, that's about it for my camp.
I just want to mention something I forgot. Tom Herman going ballistic against the, what was it? Not the UCF coach, the USF coach. Great to see. As a Tom Herman confirmed hater, because of what he did to UH, it was always wonderful to see his meltdowns in public. But that's all. I probably have something else I want to talk about at some point, but I've completely forgotten every other thing that's happened. So, yeah, that's about it from me. Brian, where can the people find you?
The people can find me at all social medias, across all social medias. Especially at twitch.tv/Auric Polaris, AURICPOLARIS. Like I said, I'm streaming on Friday guaranteed, maybe tomorrow as well. Jordan, where can people find you?
Find me at Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter, and then find me at Moonstamp on every other platform. I will start writing blogs again this week, so be on the lookout for that. Moonstamp on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X, and Facebook. I think that's all of them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Thank you for listening as well. Please leave us a review if you have the time on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, or a comment on Facebook, not Facebook. I'm on YouTube just for fun. Appreciate it so much. See you guys next week.
Stay beautiful.